start to drop, things start happening. We start recognizing certain things. This, we gotta remember, our body does as form of preparation. Even in the womb has to be prepared properly with the right temperature to even conceive. And man has to have the right sperm count to be able to help that woman to conceive. That's a form of preparation. So your diet is very important, what you eat and how you eat. So you got some crazy people eating bad stuff, but because of our melanin in our system that helps us strengthen, that's in our system, it helps strengthen our ovum, it helps strengthen our sperm. Even all the garbage we put in it, it strengthens us. Dr. Africa said that in his book called Melanin. And Richard King used to say that in his dissertations. Now, Iaedo. A wise Iaedo practitioner only takes what they need to maintain balance and safety to comfortably survive within their respective environments, and as a consequence, only needs what they take. In this disaster preparedness community, what we do is teach that system, because we show you that the more you know, the less you have to carry. Because we do evacuation walks all throughout the city. And as we walk from here to the Bronx, which is about 21 miles, we do evacuation walk. And people might say, damn, that's 21 miles, son. We got to walk through 21 miles. When we walk together, it's like a social event, but we're showing you different things and different routes to how to get out of the city, just in case something happens in our city. Even the waterways, we show you the waterways and water routes. Just in case you got an inflatable bed, you know how to float out of this place. Just in case. That's improvising though, and that's adapting. That's learning how to improvise and adapt. Even if you're not going to go to Sea Eagle and buy a canoe, an inflatable canoe. I might do that. It costs $239, and that could hold like 3 people, and we can get out of here. But it's very important that we start to prepare and learn what to carry and what to do just in case of those type of emergencies. This is our teacher and guide, Mr. Aton Edwards. He is the chief instructor of the IPN. IPN is the International Preparedness Network, and this brother here has been doing it for 30 years. He's been on major television shows. Matter of fact, you'd be surprised. This man, during the time when Bill Cosby was hosting the Apollo, he won Apollo 5 times just by doing comedy the way he does it through disaster preparedness. This is back in the 80s. This brother used to call him the bad guy. And his book is called Preparedness Now. We sold out. We had a numerous amount of books we sold out, but that book is one of our manuals on how and what we need to do, what we do with urban gardening. We have all types of things from dealing with all the different disasters that I mentioned earlier. It's always and has been in that book, and he's had that book out since 2005. What are the dynamics of emergencies? Fear plus prepared plus focus equal survival. What do I mean by that, brothers? First of all, let's get the definition of fear. According to their dictionary, panic or distress caused by exposure to danger, expectation of pain, etc. Prepared, make or get ready for use, consideration, etc. Make ready or assemble food, situation, arrange, put in order, or organize. Focus, clear, distinct, sharp, well-defined, centered, and direct. Now, fear, we say that first because according to their science of MIT, they did a study about 20 years ago, and they said the 2 fears that we are born with. We are born with the fear of falling and the fear of a loud sound. Interesting. Now, those that have dealt with children, I've tested this on my baby. When I heard it, I tested it on one of my children. I know, I can become scientific when you have your babies. You can do whatever you want to when you have children. Like, hey, look, you like fire? All right, feel the fire. It might burn. But with the falling, what I did is when I threw my child up and he went like this, then I knew there was a certain fear, but he felt comfortable when he was able to get caught again. If you ever have a child sleeping in the crib and you smack a loud noise, you see them, they'll still be sleeping, but they're like, I've noticed that. So I realized that these children, but yet my child would never walk up to a fire and gonna go touch the fire without even, because it looks beautiful, it looks light, looks shiny. He'll run across the street without looking. No fear. They have no fear usually. You're born without certain fears until you get corrupted by television and movies and all kinds of stuff. Now you're afraid of Dracula, you're afraid of werewolves, you're afraid of all kinds of foolishness. Nah. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of the knowledge, but only fools despise wisdom and instructions. Let's get busy. Come on now. Numerology and disasters. Numerology and its connection to various disasters. How each person born connected to numbers. 1 through 9 handles crises and disasters. How to identify your strengths and weaknesses. How to stay focused and not fearful during emergencies. Why I decided to do this is not only because I'm a numerologist for over 10 years, but I've seen the patterns of different people in my family and friends that I've known over the year. Like you say, like for instance, I may be a number 1, right? What is numerology? First of all, before I go into those for instances, let's deal with what is numerology. 1 through 9, 0 through 9. The word occult simply means mystery or my story. Whose story is it? Why did the so-called Europeans, when they stole our stuff, they made it a mystery to us? And then hide it under the Vaticans and hide it in their museums. That word occult has been demonized over the years. That word occult. But when you look in the dictionary, it just means mystery. Our breath is a mystery sometimes. Just to breathe, if you didn't know, understand Qigong and breathing exercises, you would never, that would still be a mystery till you start to learn it. You wouldn't know the mysteries. Even if, I keep on mentioning Dogons because they right in front of me, the Earth Center, because even the Dogon mysteries, they don't understand. They're still trying, but when we get it, we understand it fully. They will never get it because that's not in their DNA to get it. It's in our DNA to get it. According to the dictionary of occult, I have that dictionary, a system of divination and occult practice based on the idea that the universe is mathematically constructed and that all things can be expressed in numbers, which corresponds to vibration because all letters, words, names, birthdays, and so on can be expressed in numbers, which in turn are ascribed complex religious and mystical meanings. A person, life, personality, and destiny life path can be determined. According to Lloyd Strayhorn, numerology is the occult study of numbers. Numerology is truly a universal science that goes beyond the scope of limited thinking. And according to an Indian practitioner, Harish Johari, numerology uses numbers as a key to human behavior. It is an easy-to-learn method that exercises the mind, intuitive faculties to fathom the depth of human personality. Now, I like what Lloyd said, I like what they said, I even like what they said. Very interesting, because with numbers, what I realized in mathematics, and one thing I learned while being in the Nation of Islam, the messenger, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, used to say, mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics, but most of them don't even believe in numerology. How you don't believe in the science of number when you just told me mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics, and it always stands true? This is very interesting to me. This science of numerology goes back over 10,000 years, and we are even able to say that it's older than astrology. Why? Because in order for you to find out the astrological sign of someone else, you got to know their birth date. You got to know their birthday. So you're using what? Numbers. Got to go back to numbers. What is astrological astrology? According to the Dictionary of Occult, study of the influences of the celestial bodies on the earth and its inhabitants. Astrology appearing to be one of the most ancient of the surviving occult sciences and evidence of a highly sophisticated system in the Babylonian and Egyptian cultures has survived. In the walls of Egypt, on the ceilings, they have the astrology symbol. In the walls of Ethiopia, they have this. in the walls of Babylon. Most of this comes from our ancient ancestry studying of the universal star, and we would be very ignorant to think that the macrocosmic universe is not connected to the microcosmic universe. Why I say that? Because according to their science, again, I'm going right back to Europe. According to European science, it says it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds, approximately 500 seconds, for the sun's light to leave the sun and bathe every planet in the universe. According to their science, again, it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds, approximately 500 seconds, for the blood of the heart to leave the heart and bathe every part of your body. Where's the connection with that?
Numbers.
Then you have solar. Then you have the solar plexus. Then we got our bodies that's 98.6 degrees. Even when it's the coldest day, your body is 98.6 degrees. On the hottest day, when people start complaining when it's 90 degrees and they say, oh, it's too hot. I said, damn, you are hotter than what it is on the outside. What's wrong with you? According to complete astrology, that's exactly how they spell it. Astrology is at once a science and an art. The mechanics of its science as well as the techniques of its art must both be understood if you are to become skilled in understanding and interpreting the influence of the heavenly bodies on yourself and mankind. In another note, according to numbers are simple, people are complicated, that's my book. Astronomy, astrology, numerology, and other ancient knowledge and wisdom have been demonized, called occultism and other crazy labels to mislead the masses from using these ancient ways to obtain true knowledge of self. How do we know this? Is because if you research about J.P. Morgan, one of the richest men on earth, still, and he's been dead over 30 years. He used an astrologer and used astronomy and numerology to determine whether he should go on the Titanic or not. And he didn't go on the Titanic because his astrologer and numerologist told him. Walt Disney, one of the most successful fantasy lands and fantasy worlds, uses astronomy and numerology to release their movies at certain times. Up to this day they do that. Up to this day. So rich people, wealthy people, and those that know use our science that was taken away from us, mind you. They use astronomy, they use cosmology, they use all these different things to take and to use it against us or to keep us dumb and keep us in religiosity. That's why I like it when Bill Maher came out with that movie, Religiosity. That's my book, of course. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. You can always get it. There's only 5 left. Gotta promote. Stop laughing, girl. Stop laughing. Man. Astrological chart is also a factor, but we're going to touch more on numbers. Now, each sign is also connected to a number. Aries represents connected to 9, Leo connected to 1 and 4, Sagittarius connected to 3. In other words, Aries and 9, fire number 9. Aries deal with war. They are the warriors in this sign. Most Aries are people under number 9. If they get into vicious arguments, they get into arguments hardcore, and they have to watch out for fire elements. Leo, connected to 1 and 4. 1 deals with fire, 4 deals with air. 4 and 1 complements each other. Because fire without air, it wouldn't last. That's why when you put your hand over a candle and you put it out, that means you snuffed out the air. Air and fire works together in harmony. Sagittarius, number 3. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Number 3 is a fire number. We're going to get into that dynamics also. Both are fire. 3 represents expansion, expression. So you know that most Sagittarians that get into themselves and know themselves well, they're good at expressing themselves in certain ways. But yet, if they have another number that diffuses that, let's say Sagittarian as a fire sign has a number 2 as a water sign, that stunts the growth of that fire. When you need to learn how to put the fire of both and the water in both perspectives, because number 2 is a water number. We're going to get into something else. Taurus. Those that are Taurus, Bulls, Virgos, Capricorns, these are earth signs. Taurus represents the 6, Virgo represents the 5, 8 represents the Capricorn, or Capricorn representing the 8. Let's go into Gemini. Gemini represents the 5, 6 is representing Libra, Aquarius also represents 4 and 1 from another perspective. Now, if you notice, sorry, that wasn't supposed to go there. It was like there we are. Right here, compared to that. Now, with Leo and Aquarius are opposite on the line here, or opposite. Why? Because Leo deals with the male energy first, and then the female energy second. 4 deals with the female energy first, and the male energy second. That means 4 has a weird way of dealing with or attracting women. Those 4 people born under those 4 numbers. We're going to get into that more in the next slides coming up. Cancer deals with 2 and 7. That's why I tell people that people that are Cancers or Pisces. Any Cancers and Pisces in the house? Anybody Cancer? Woo, woo, woo. Sagittarius. Hold on now. Yes. We're not touching the Sagittarius. We already talked about Sagittarius. Cancer and Pisces, this is a good year for you, because this is a number 7 year, and number 7 is a water number really that's connected to Cancer and Pisces. Although you see Pisces is connected to 3 in this one, dealing with expansion, but in actuality, Cancer used to be dealing with Neptune, and back in the older days, and Pisces was dealing with the moon of the 2 at one time, and then it got switched up because of a paradigm shift that took place, according to most astrologers and numerologists. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 9 equals fire, 6 and 8 equals earth, 4 and 5 equals air, 2 and 7 equals water, and 0 equals ether or infinity. So those that are born under that number connected to 0, like the 1, the 10, the 20, and 30, I always check those people because they are the ones that have extreme lifestyles. If you're born on the 10th, who's born on the 10th? Anybody born on the 20th? Anybody born on the 30th in this place? No, wow, y'all ain't even here, huh? Good. So I can talk all bad about your ass. Talk about you. But those that have those zeros connected are usually the ones that went to the trip. Matter of fact, a 10 just left here. Brother Polite is born on the 10th of August. He was a Crip, one extreme level, a former Crip, gangbanger, carrying guns, killing, doing what he had to do, and then he did an extreme turn in his life. Totally turned. So in one sweep, just by reading one book. That's what usually happens to those people of those type of extreme. And those that are connected to double numbers like 11, 22, and those that are connected to those numbers also go to different extremes because they added a certain extra to them. We must learn to strengthen our strengths and manage our weaknesses, and through our ancient ancestral sciences we can. That is how we were able to survive for millions of years. Now, places like the Earth Center has a school for meditation and learning your ancient science, and I implore anyone to go and learn that, because that just takes you another step closer to your ancestors and what they did and how they did things and how they survived. Because believe me, do all this disaster, I'm not afraid of nothing. I'm just letting you know that I use my intuitive nature, which is given to me by the Creator, and our ancestors, and keeping in tune and setting up our altars to keep connected with the ancestors will let you know in dreams, daydreams, and night dreams if something is coming, and how to move, and how to do certain things. Before the World Trade hit, I dreamt that the World Trade got hit. And then what's so funny, me and 2 others of my cousins in my family dreamt the same type of dream. So it's in the family. But we just have to be more in tune. We got to get into the meditation. We got to start researching and digging into who we are, what our heritage was, and what we used to do. Very important. Now, those born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th of any month, known as a fire sign, a number fire number. Fire. Woo! Boy, when this happens, y'all are on trouble. If you ain't out of that house is going to eat you up alive. Challenges before and during emergency. Number 1, ego may be too strong or too weak, stagnant, stubborn, bully, lazy, a tyrant, selfish, arrogant, and unstable. That's the negative of a number 1. That if you don't learn to control that, that's why I say you got to learn to strengthen your strengths and manage your weaknesses. Here's some of the solutions before and during an emergency. Self-aware. innovator, paradigm buster, leadership, courage, ambition, creativity, original, fearless, and the willpower. That's what we need during types of disasters. We need self-awareness. In other words, you must be aware of yourself in order to handle something like this. You got to be an innovator in order to avoid something like this. Now, this could have been caused by an electrical fire. If you don't know the dynamics of how to clear and check your household just in case of different things that happen, you might end up having something like this happen in your house. In times of disaster, we need good leadership. Always good leadership. And I would throw one in front of there, as long as they're in their right mind, I'll throw a number one in themselves, in front of a leadership paradigm, because they're the ones that has the quick wit to deal with, the courage to deal with, the ambition to deal with, the creativity to deal with, the originality to deal with, and their willpower, and they're fearless. That's the type of stuff we need during times of a disaster. Leaders like that. Overall assessment. Number one, can be focused, centered, confident, and a great leader before and during disasters. Very innovative and creative when need be. But if they fall under this category, the challenges, suppose they wasn't trained well. Suppose they still a bully. Suppose they're lazy because their parents didn't train them, or they didn't get the discipline that they needed. Then that will be obstructive in a disaster situation, and that can get us killed. Those born on the number 2, the 11th or 20th or 29th of the month. Water, emotional, very emotional. Water is very emotional. Deals with intuitive energies. We're going to get into that. The challenges before and during a disaster. Look at this water. Look at this devastation coming to this. These cars are still driving. That's a devastation with water. How would a number 2 handle it? They might start screaming and just park up. Ah! You're supposed to keep on driving. Don't get too emotional right then and there. You go and keep it moving. That person's safe. He's still moving. Love the coastline stuff. Keep on moving. The challenge before during emergencies: uncooperative, timid, sensitivity issues, petty, deceptive, cruel, insensitive, careless, mischief makers, liars, and slackness. This can be a detriment to us in a disaster situation. Very detrimental. Especially, look, uncooperative, you got to be able to cooperate with a team in times of disasters. Timid? We ain't got no time for your timidness. And if your sensitive issues come from your mom and your dad and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't supposed to go that way. If your sensitive issues come up because your mom and dad in a relationship you in, we ain't got no time for that during a disaster. We really don't. You need to learn to stay focused when this thing go down. And why? Then you got solutions. Solutions before and during. Teamwork is one of the greatest things that a number 2 can do, because they love working in a team. They love unison. They love working and they love the balance. Good voice. We need a good voice to be able to talk to people and calm them down, because there's going to be those that are not as calm as you are. If you remember that movie Airplane, y'all remember that movie Airplane? Anybody see the movie Airplane back in the day when they lined up, the girl started acting crazy, and all the passengers started smacking this woman. She acting crazy, smack, they all like, even the horse is on the plane, he lined up ready to smack the woman. This is some real stuff, we can't have that. Good voice, intuitive. A number 2, we can actually bear witness to a number 2 actually using their intuitive nature to let us know if we should go this way or that way, because if they stay in tune and stay in focus with themselves and know themselves from the right mind, they will be able to direct and lead us or guide us in a certain way just by their gut feeling. Number 2 should always pay attention to their gut feeling. Being considerate, a peacemaker. Now, during times of emergency, guess what? Our people act up, they get paranoid, they start fighting each other. If you go into any of these shelters, if somebody takes something from them, you see a big fight, knives come out, all kinds of stuff. We need peacemakers. We need people that are charmers, that know how to be charming and persuasive with a soft touch and a soft talk sometimes. And that's where the number 2 comes in. Love and service, their love for service. 2s love to serve people. They love cooperation, diplomacy, and being mild-mannered and respectful to others, because it's not how much you know. You could be barking out orders like a number 1 might bark out orders. But the 2 might come up to number 1 and say, look, let me handle this. I got this. Because you gonna get us killed someday. I'm a number 1. I know at certain points I gotta you're number 2. I know. So you gotta she's a number 2. So I know, we gotta she's a number 2, so I know what it is. I know I gotta say, okay, sis, yeah, this, you got this. Go ahead, brother, you talk this down and have some fun with it. That's what it is. An overall assessment, 2s can be a great harmonizer before and during disasters, able to delegate teams and be a team player. And that is the truth as far as every number 2 I've worked with over my 47 years. This is some real stuff. Number 3, anybody born on the 3rd, the 12th, and the 21st, or 30th of the month, y'all are a fire number.
That's right.
Whatever, you born February 21st. I know what it is, son. I know what it is. Boom! This could be devastating. You can't with me, I know. Everybody say that. They can't with me. Boom! That's right, fire! Fire! Challenges before an emergency. Scattered. Insecure. Feel inadequate. Worrying. Whining. I can't stand a whiner. Wasteful. Intolerance, hypocrisy, over-exaggerating, and jealous. We don't need this during times of disasters. In any time, even before disasters, you need to curb this, son. Calm this down. Scattered, we don't have time, because just because 3 represents expansion, you don't have to be scattered expansion. You could be expanding in the way that you're trying to show people how to do things on other realms, other ways, and other things. That's how you can, don't be scattered and send people all over the place where they get themselves killed. Insecure, we need no insecure people at that time. During time. Insecurity will definitely devastate a whole team. People gotta understand it. Feeling inadequate because of your past, and your mama didn't tell you they love you and all that, but look, stop playing. Don't laugh. Stop playing. Warriors. During that time, if you prepared for the disaster, you wouldn't have to be worried that much, because at least you prepared for that stuff to come. You already made preparations. Maybe you saved your water. Maybe you know the walk route. Maybe you know you made up the evacuation route. Look, our team, if you join my team, this is what it is. We are keeping in contact with you. You keep in contact with us. We got a place where we meet to get out of the city. Whether we meet at Nicholas, we move throughout this. Everybody meet at Nicholas at 5 o'clock. Well, when the sun is going down, so maybe time is going to be gone. So you got to know how to read the atmosphere, how to read the skies. Sun is going down. Sun is about to set. Everybody, look, it's happening. It happens right around now. Sun is about to set. You got to learn how to put a stick down and tell time. And where the shadow cast. And we teach that. This is what we teach. So this is very important. These little things, as much as we are into technology and all this, a disaster can disrupt this system at any moment. Many of y'all was at the blackout. Some people walking over the bridge. Some people didn't have a flashlight. Some people was in the train. They didn't have a flashlight. They didn't have They didn't have water to last that long in the trains. Some people don't know this stuff. How in the world, how many of us ride the train system out here? Damn near anybody. How many of y'all carry a flashlight with you in the trains? In the New York City train station that's electrically run, how many of y'all carry a flashlight? How many of y'all carry a smoke hood? In case smoke took over the train, there's a smoke incident, a fire incident, I'll be the leader. Y'all be trying to kill me for that smoke hood. You be trying to take my smoke hood from me. How many this is some simple stuff. And it doesn't weigh that much. It's not that heavy. If I show you some of the stuff that I carry with me all the time, every day. I carry it all the time, every day. And it didn't obstruct my life. I was still emceeing in clubs. When I did major shows at Madison Square Garden, I knew where all the exits were. I had my disaster preparedness. While I'm hosting a Barris Hammond show, my disaster preparedness gear is right there. I'm doing my thing. Because if there's something that takes place in Madison Square Garden, I know how to get out of there, because I go to the venues early and walk the venue to learn the exits. It's not paranoia, I just want to know. I want to be safe. Because me and Jamaica got crowd, anything can happen. Yo, everybody start running. I've been in one of those shootouts back in Bill